Hey everybody, welcome back to Brown Table. So I've been having a pretty mediocre time. I had to go to work, and then there was a snowstorm, and then I had to leave work early, which means I'm getting paid less. I think in California it's like 72 degrees. Here it's snowing and it's like 30. And then I was sick for the past 3 days. But yesterday, my recovery day, which was the snowstorm day, I decided I wanted to watch a movie and just unwind, you know? And truth be told, I've been getting kind of tired of watching good movies all the time. Like the Emoji Movie and X-Men Origins Wolverine. They're okay. They're passable. They're just good. They're not like Batman v Superman level, not Fan Forsdyke level, but I need to watch something that really makes me feel odd, you know? Thing is, I really want to watch something that pushes the boundaries of art. And I wanted to look into something a little more art house, you know, a little more artsy. And then I found this director. His name is David Ayer. His pen name, though, is Fuck Marvel.
Fuck Marvel!
And a few years ago, Fuck Marvel created this film, which I guess can't even really be described as a film. And what it tries to be, it's almost like a music video, but it's not. It's like an 100-minute long music video. So is that even a music video? Is it a film? It's a music film. The movie I'm talking about is called Suicide Squad. Don't worry, nobody commits suicide in it. And this music film, I put it on last night, and I started watching it, and then obviously I started dancing to it. Like, it's a music film. And then like right at the end of the movie, I didn't have my clothes on. And it was so weird. Like, how did that happen? And have you ever heard this movie called Guardians of the Galaxy, where they play like really mediocre music throughout the entire? It's crap. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy copied Suicide Squad. I'm not even joking. How pathetic is that? What I really do want to talk about is how amazing Suicide Squad is, and that's what we're going to talk about. Suicide Squad. All my friends are heathens, take it slow. Now, right from the get-go, there is no Vivo logo in the music film. It's really ballsy, and I really like that. And this is just the start, okay? Now, what Fuck Marvel wants to do is he wants to really make us question whether we like these characters or not. And this is really going to be important later on. So the people we're supposed to be rooting for are villains, but we're not supposed to like them. But then again, are we? And that's a really good question, because you see Will Smith, who plays Floyd Lawton Deadshot in the movie. He's introduced, and he's beating up this punching bag like a total villain. And then we're introduced to Harley Quinn, and then again, we don't know. Are we supposed to be like attracted to her? Are we supposed to like her? Or are we supposed to hate her?
Oh my god.
And then she licks the bars. It's like so unhygienic. Like, who does that? But it's so smart because David Ayer is obviously like, unhygienic people are bad guys. Like, come on. And then after we get a flashback of Griggs being a totally nice guy and saying, which flavor of yogurt do you want? It's so kind. The music, man. And then another thing you'll see with this movie is all these little distorted effects. And the colors just pop right into your face. And that's exactly what audiences want. They want really frenetic, very colorful scenes that aren't in the middle of muddled brown scenes. What audiences really want is a bunch of colors vomited right into their face so that they can be entertained, because that's what entertainment is. Then we're introduced to Amanda Waller in the best way possible, with music.
Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man, will, and taste.
What I really like about this movie is that it reuses stock footage from Batman v Superman to remind us, yes, Warner Brothers, we made Batman v Superman, one of the greatest movies of our time. Isn't that amazing? I love how amazing, it turns me on. I think David Ayer has this power to be able to tap into the minds of people and make them take their clothes off. And it's really just, it's a powerful thing. So Amanda Waller's role in the movie is that she wants to create Task Force X, the most badass name ever, right? Marvel's Weapon X totally copied it. And so Task Force X is a group that is supposed to be able to take on the next Superman. Because Superman died in Batman v Superman, the greatest movie of all time. It doesn't matter. So anyway, the next Superman could be a bad guy, could be a terrorist. So obviously Amanda Waller wants to create a team that can take the next Superman out. And that means she's assigned the worst of the worst, as in the most powerful people she can ever assemble. So obviously that means Deadshot, Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, all these really, really tough people who can easily take on Superman any day of the week. So we're introduced to Deadshot, who's setting up an assassination. He's setting up where he's gonna ricochet his bullet, and the music, man! Here Deadshot wants to assassinate the target, so he shoots a bullet, the bullet ricochets, and it hits the guy in the back of the head. But wait a second, in the next scene you see that there's a soldier right behind the guy that's supposed to be assassinated. How did the bullet hit right behind the head if there's a soldier right behind him? No, stop. Obviously, you don't know this, and it's a little hard for small minds to comprehend this, okay? But let me explain it to you. Will Smith is obviously the son of James McAvoy's character from Wanted. He can curve bullets, obviously. And if you don't believe me, look, Floyd Lawton, Wanted, it's as clear as day. Now, another thing that's really badass is that Deadshot commits this assassination in the middle of the day. He could use, like, civilian clothes and just escape into a crowd and look like another human being. Like, who knows it could have been him? No one knows. Like, he looks like another guy. But he decides to wear his costume. Not even that. He decides to rappel down a building, being all freaking obvious. And that's so cool, because David Ayer is basically saying that it's not Deadshot. He should be called Ballshot, because Floyd Lawton has huge balls. Also, something really great that DC always does, Warner Brothers always does, is that they always hire what has to be prodigy actors, or like amazing future actors that are definitely going to be breakout stars in the future. And we got another one on our hands.
She's lying to you.
Daddy, I know you do bad things. Don't worry. I still love you.
Then we go back to Harley Quinn, who's introduced with... And look, Harley Quinn's great and all, but we all know why we're here. We all want to see the next Joker, the new Joker. And let me tell you, Jared Leto does not disappoint. Jared Leto easily beats Heath Ledger any day of the week. I mean, look at him. He has abs. Does Heath Ledger have abs? Probably not. Then the Joker breaks out of prison, like the total badass he is. And one of his henchmen has a goat mask on, right? And then when he gets shot and dies, he belts out like a goat. And I mean, come on, this movie's trying to be as realistic as possible. You can tell by the muddy colors. So why would he belt out like a goat? This obviously means that David Ayer is trying to please the furries. The furries are a huge community. And by adding an anthropomorphic goat, that adds a whole new audience. David Ayer knows who the market is. And that market is furries. And we're introduced to Captain Boomerang. Is that a... Then we're introduced to Killer Croc, who is a scaly. If you don't know what scalies are, they're basically like furries, but they're into lizards. And it's really comic accurate, because if you know Killer Croc from the comics like I do, you know that he's a weeaboo who got lizard scales and put it into his skin trying to create his fursona, or as it should be called, his scale sona. Last but not least, we have the Enchantress, and thus the Suicide Squad. And the Suicide Squad is presented by Amanda Waller in a secret government meeting, and it has some great dialogue.
Go get it, girl.
After that scene, we get back to our hero Griggs, and then we get introduced to the deuteragonist of the story, who is Rick Flag. And then when Deadshot is outside, he obviously, like a villain, points a gun to our hero Griggs! And then Griggs spouts the most heroic line I think I've ever heard in my entire life.
Ames, if this man shoots me, I want you to kill him, and I want you to go clear my browser history.
It's a masterpiece. And then afterwards, Deadshot starts shooting, and he does this to the beat of a new song. Then we come back to the Joker, who just like in the comics is being as edgy as he can be. That's his main goal, to be edgy. And then the problem of the movie starts. An Enchantress escapes, and she hates humans, because humans have started worshipping machines instead of her and her brother. So since she hates machines so much, her plan, is to create a machine. And it's so smart, because what Ayer's trying to tell us is that she's become what she hates so much. It's so well written, and it's almost biblical. You know, it's maybe David Ayer is God himself.
Behold the voice of God.
So anyway, what happens after Enchantress decides to create her machine? Oh yeah.
Open the gates! Everybody! Two trailer park girls go round the outside, round the outside.
Triangle, bitch.
I think one of the most kick-ass lines in the movie is this line.
So that's it? What, we some kind of Suicide Squad?
It's so well written and so meta. It's almost like Deadshot is Deadpool. Oh, by the way, we're also introduced to the savior of the Suicide Squad. And by this, I mean the guy who's so tough that they had to kill him off right at the start of the mission. Because he's so useful. Yeah, that's right. It's Slipknot, the man who can climb anything. You know how useful that is? To be able to climb anything? It's like if Superman is flying up and they need to catch up to Superman, Slipknot can just climb the air and just catch up to Superman. That's so freaking useful, man! And they kill him off. So obviously the Suicide Squad has a harder time of beating Enchantress because Slipknot isn't there. But then again, we have a good replacement with Katana, who's so mysterious that we have barely any backstory on her.
This is Katana. She's got my back.
But that's good enough for me because she's obviously going to get her own solo movie just like Deadshot and Harley Quinn and the Joker and all those other characters. So they're riding in a helicopter, and it could just be the sound effect of... Who wants to hear that? Let's get some music. But then the fun is killed because the helicopter's shot down. Now again with David Ayer's universe building, he decides to join another universe to the DC universe. The Suicide Squad is fighting the putty monsters from Power Rangers. Then the villains enter a building, they kill some more putties, and then we get a flashback to the Joker. And yes, the Joker has his shirt off yet again. But then again, this movie ain't just for girls, this movie's for guys too. Because we get to see a lot of Harley Quinn's ass. And it's great. I'm not talking about her ass. I'm talking about the cinematography of the shots of her ass. It's amazing. All of it is framed so well. Look at this shot. The verticality of the eye line just to get to the ass right at the center. Let me just tell you about this movie. The cinematography is impeccable. And there's all these reviewers out there, these fake reviewers like Houston Productions 1 trash. They say this music film is bad? No, this music film is amazing. All these fake reviewers out there on Rotten Tomatoes or whatever, they're all bots. They're all bought off and they're all fake. I'm the only one that's gonna tell you the truth. Hashtag Rotten Tomatoes is rigged. This is the one thing that disappointed me from the movie, is that there's a hentai scene. And the thing is that what bothers me is that they cut it off right when the good stuff is about to happen. Like, why would you do that? And I thought they were going to put it in the extended edition, but they don't. It's really frustrating, but I'm just nitpicking. It's really not a big deal. I think maybe David Ayer is just saving it for Suicide Squad 2, maybe. I don't know. Then the villains finally reach Enchantress with her hip-breaking CGI, and then she makes them dream their greatest desires. And it's really touching, you know? It's Harley Quinn dreams of being with Joker and having a family, and Diablo dreams of having his family with him, and Rick Flag dreams of June Moon, and Deadshot dreams of murdering Batman in cold blood, and it's amazing. Eventually, Enchantress summons her brother to attack the squad. And this is the scene where Diablo kind of has to sacrifice himself. I guess that's maybe why the movie's called Suicide Squad. And he even says that he doesn't want to lose another family.
I lost one family, I ain't gonna lose another one.
And it's so touching because they've met for, I think, 5 hours? But in those 5 hours, after hours of humiliation and verbal abuse and just shit-talking, he decides... he chooses this as his new family. It's really poetic. It's perfect. It makes me... I'm sorry. You know the whole thing with should I love these characters or should I hate these characters? It finally comes together in this one scene. So Deadshot has to shoot this bomb thing to destroy Enchantress's machine thing. And in this beautiful scene, his gun, he has to shoot the bomb and the gun says hate. But then he shoots it and it says love. That's when you know, yeah, you're supposed to love these characters, not hate them. That's the moment in the music film where I was like, yes, this is a masterpiece. Now that the villains turned heroes blow up the bomb, destroy the machine, the villain is defeated, and they get sent back to prison.
Where they fucking belong.
I'm sorry, it's just that David Ayer, you know, he's just playing with me. Am I supposed to like these characters or hate them? I don't even know anymore. Also, did you think that Wanted and Power Rangers were the only two universes that connected with Suicide Squad? No. There's one more universe that connects with Suicide Squad. Yeah, you might have missed it, but if you see the end credits, there's stars in it. Guess what stars mean? Star Wars. Thank you, Ayer. 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 Thank you, Ayer.